under whomever is in charge.
Yes. I spent a lot of time speaking to people around the Harris campaign. The one thing that comes clear is this is going to be a first-term presidency, not a second Biden term. And that means different personnel, different policies. They are going to shift away from the Elizabeth Warren faction, which really, I think most Democrats realized it was a fool's errand. Like, why are you standing in the way of a technology that's important? You know, you think about what's the important technologies coming. AI is certainly the most important, but blockchain is right there, right. Robotics. And so
you've been publicly supporting Democrats for a very long time, but there has been a real move, obviously, within the crypto space to support former President Trump. Do you see that changing over this issue of crypto the way you now see it?
You know, listen, it's 33 days to the election, and I think most people have made their choice up. And I think this is going to be who gets the vote. To me, I think it's a 50-50 call right now on who's going to win. And you're going to see it all in 7 states, 42 counties, and about 100,000 votes. It's a crazy way to elect a president. I do think, though, going forward, both the House and the Senate and whoever's in the executive side is going to be pro-crypto. I've spent a lot of time with different congressmen and senators. I'm seeing one today on the Republican side. And they all kind of get it now. This is an important technology for America. And
when you say pro-crypto, though, what does that mean? I mean, look, there's Bitcoin and there's Ether. Then I'm looking at Solana. There's Ripple below it. What else are we talking about?
I think it's relatively simple what D.C. has to do. They have to pass a market infrastructure bill that's not too suffocating, right? Tell us where we're regulated. One reason we don't have a lot of apps on top of these blockchains is that companies are scared to build. You know, real companies are scared to build apps on top of blockchains because they're not sure if they're going to get arrested for issuing a token or not. And so once there's clarity, you'll see a lot more innovation on blockchains. And so it's a market infrastructure bill, a stablecoin bill, and it's a direction to the OCC to let TradeFi companies hold crypto on their balance sheets. Those 3 things, and I'll stop going to Washington as the whole crypto community.
What are you hearing as it relates? What are you hearing as it relates to the ETFs and how big the inroads have been? Obviously, there was a big move afoot when this first happened, but it's quieted down materially since then. And I'm trying to understand what's happened, because I think part of the expectation was that, you know, all these advisors were all of a sudden going to be out there marketing this stuff, and it was going to shift the balance.
You know, that's a slower process than I think the market anticipated, right? Like, a lot of these big platforms are just starting a month ago, starting this month, starting next month. And so I think this will be a, you know, ongoing play over the years, not over the months. And I just think the more different ways you give access, the next big jolt to Bitcoin is going to be when we have options that trade on the ETFs. The SEC said they're coming. I don't know if it's in 3 weeks or a month, but we will have
options. And what
do
you think that jolt is worth?
You know, if you look at MicroStrategy as the one place right now you can get leverage on Bitcoin as a retail investor, it trades at more than 2.3 times the value of the Bitcoin it has, mostly because of the options. It is the single, often most weeks, it's the single largest, option stock in the whole market. And that tells me something, that there's a whole bunch of young guys on Robinhood that want to play crypto and want to do it with leverage. And
what do you think happens, by the way?
It's long overdue. They're making billions and billions of dollars, but they don't want to share it. They rather see a fully automated terminal right here on the East Coast so they can make more money. They are money crazy.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
Also, make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App and go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Mike Novogratz saying Kamala will be receptive to crypto. And we know Trump is definitely pro-crypto because he's made millions in the space, and we know he doesn't understand it whatsoever. And we have Mike Novogratz on options on Bitcoin, and we know BlackRock was approved. And that's going to bring more volatility to the space. And guys, do not allow this dip to scare you. Make sure you're looking at the VIX. We know we're going to have volatility because we have a lot of geopolitical events going on. Plus, at home, we have plenty of strikes. And the big one, of course, is the port strike. And we know they want to go fully automated. And you heard it right out the mouth of the head of the union. They want to make billions and not share. We know the NWO caused the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And the only thing they're doing now is testing a simulation. They get to test all this new technology. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Now we have China stocks. We have CNBC, of course, playing the Hegelian dialectic. You shouldn't want to invest in communism. Guys, don't forget our big corporations all went over to China to get cheap labor. And of course, they don't want you to invest because they don't want you to make any money. You can't make this stuff up. But China and India are about to rise in this digital economy. And we have the drums are beating, and it looks like a video game. And we know from every major drums are beating, they specifically targeted certain areas and left the big businesses alone when they could have easily destroyed it. And that's how you know, guys, this is all a plan. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We haven't seen a strike on the East Coast port complex since 1977.
A lot of uncertainty here. It's difficult to say exactly how this plays out. My expectation, I give it like a 70 to 80% chance that the two parties can resolve this week. But I think that if it goes longer than that, it might go a lot longer and be very ugly. For every day of strike, we're sort of looking at 7 to 10 days of congestion, of bottlenecks and backup of cargo. So you can play that out. If it was the last month, you'd be talking about 10 months of congestion.
The U.S. into a recession this year if it lasts more than a month. Well, basically, before the Red Sea crisis, which is basically the inability to sail vessels, especially from Asia to Europe, via the Suez Canal. Now you have to go around Africa because of attacks from Houthis out of Yemen in the Red Sea. That basically means you need a whole lot more vessels to be able to sail the same distance. About 14% more vessels. And that means that whatever slack we had in the system back in December, which was around 15%, completely got removed because of the Red Sea crisis.
I think that, look, Tepper is one of the best hedge fund investors in the history of our markets, and he's a great trader. And, you know, we say something at our firm, we say, you know, you can't break your arm jumping out of the basement window. Chinese stocks have been up only 5 of the last 20 years. Their GDPs have 505% reportedly. And if you invested in their Shanghai Shenzhen 300 index 15 years ago, you're still not making money, even though stocks are up 25% in just a week. So you've got a policy-driven stimulus, you've got animal spirits arisen, but typically the biggest rallies are counter-trend rallies. And China's trend has just been down for so many years, Andrew. And as they've shown as Xi Jinping has kind of shown his hand, investing in communism has never worked in the long run.
So your argument is this is a head fake? Is your argument that you would short it from here? Is your argument that maybe this goes on for another year or several months? What are you saying?
Sure. As far as the policy stimulus is concerned, they've talked about a $300 billion stimulus so far in a reportedly $20 trillion economy. So going into the Golden Week, going into National Holiday, they got stocks up. Think about this, Andrew, 25% in 1 week. And so is that a good time to buy something? I would argue that this has been a trading rally. It's been a massive counter trend rally. But, you know, think about 2014, think about many years before. Their stock market sits today where it was a year ago, where it was in 2016, where it was in 2009, where it was in 2006. That's exactly where we sit today. And so if their GDP is up 505% and you're still sitting where you were sitting back in 2008, And 6, I don't know, maybe you should consider not investing in communism. Do I think that the rally could continue? Do I think that stocks could go up more? The answer is yes, but I equate it to picking up dimes in front of bulldozers.
And therefore, you think that the move has been made and it's over already?
Yeah, I guess my view on this is simple. The United States has increased our GDP about 75% in 15 years. And if you invested in the S&P and reinvested dividends, you're up almost 400%. So you don't have to discount Xi Jinping. You don't have to discount the Communist Party. You don't have to worry about China going to war with the Philippines or Taiwan. You don't have to worry about their limitless partnership with Vladimir Putin and their partnership with the Ayatollah and their partnership with Kim Jong-un. You don't have to worry about this unholy alliance of bad guys in the world geopolitically. If you just invest here where we live, where we have best, most deepest capital markets, we have the most innovation, we have the best companies in the world. All I'm saying is, as viewers of this show, think about the broader picture. Again, could a communist government goose its market a little more and make it go up? That's absolutely. And if you're a trader, more power to you. If you invest in communism in the long run, you'll lose every time.
Conflict in the Middle East after the Israeli military fended off an onslaught of missile attacks earlier today from Iran. Now, we've been watching this footage all day of missiles lighting up the skies, but Israel's Iron Dome does appear to have intercepted at least some or most of those projectiles.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.